Oh, hello there, outliers. Niiamah Sean here, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey. We're here at a round table, and we have a round table of two today. It is me and Gordon Faulkner. Gordon, it is an absolute pleasure to be in space with you here. Thank you so much for bringing what you bring to the table. Thanks for being the outlier that you are and helping us blaze new trails for what comes next. It's good to be in space with you.
Great to be here, and I'm definitely looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna have a really good time here today, Gordon. The one of the questions I like to start our conversations off with just to get a sense as to you and the way that you like show up in the world. So would you mind sharing more about you and the game you're currently playing?
Do you want me to give you the little transformational story over the last 2 years that helped me get
Yeah,
into
why don't we
this?
well, let's see where you are now. Give
Okay,
outliers a chance to like
perfect.
see like, all right,
Beauty,
this is
beauty.
this is who Gordon's showing up as now, and then we'll figure out like like where how you got.
Okay, showing up now, I'm pretty darn happy and happy about the path that how my life has been unfolding over the last 2 years. I'm working part of my time as a project manager for a primary prevention campaign for a doctor here in Vancouver that's also wanting to get into the personal development side of things. So we're producing a podcast and we're working on creation of resources available to, we could give talks at schools and this and that. We're just kind of developing the plan now. I love doing that. And at the same time, what I love more is doing the coaching and hypnosis work that I've been doing. So I'm doing both about part-time. This pays my bills. The coaching work I do is primarily based on what I call mindfulness coaching or transformative coaching. And also I do hypnosis sessions, helping people clear anxiety, release emotional issues, um, become more authentic, and stuff like that. And I'm working with some really cool people who seem to be at the top of their game in what they're doing. I can talk a bit more about that in a little while. But yeah.
Yeah, so like let me see if I'm getting this right here, Gordon. So you have essentially what it feels like two businesses that are like they
Mm.
come from the same like similar spirits. But one of them is more coaching and hypnosis, and the other one is more like how would you describe the other one? If this was coaching and hypnosis, how would you describe the other one?
Video production slash project management. Those are my roles.
Mhm.
And ideally, in the future, I'm actually going to transition mostly into just the podcast production. That's the side of things. I'm right now in a delegation process of getting some other people to take care of uh, some of the stuff I don't want to take care of, administrational stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Awesome. So we're going to be playing it in here in a bit of both. We have a lot of outliers that are making the transition,
Mhm.
for themselves in from to spending more time doing the things that like really light
Mm,
them up. Right. And I feel like
right.
that's what I'm hearing from you here. So let's see here, Gordon. I know you've had a journey here. Um, we may not go into each of like the different specifics of it. But what I do want to do is just get a sense of you talked about like the transformation journey you've been on. Take us to help us see like where you were. You said you brought up earlier that was about like 2 years ago, like your journey really started to come in. Let us see what was life like for you about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I was on the west coast of BC in a small coastal town, and that's where my mother lives. And I was taking care of her because of health issues and other stuff she needed help with. She had really bad PTSD and anxiety, and just couldn't really take care of herself. And so I was there for about a year, and by the end of that, I was exhausted. I was broke. I was depressed. I was in a pretty bad place. I had no money and I hadn't really worked in over a year, so I didn't know what I was going to do. But I knew my love for coaching. I did a coaching certification years ago, and I also knew my love for hypnotherapy. I did some hypnosis training years ago. So I had this aha moment. I was walking on the beach, west coast of Long Beach, near Tofino. It's a beautiful spot, actually. A lot of tourists go there. But I did an exercise in the sand where I drew these circles, and it was taking me from my identity of what I'm going through now, um, environment, behaviors, um, skills, beliefs, identity, and what I stepped through each one of those, and I just realized I was doing what I didn't want to do. I was exhausted. I was depressed. I had limiting beliefs. I had self-sabotage. Then the part of the exercise is you step into your ideal place. Like, who are you when you're the most alive? What comes easy to you? All of these questions. And from that place, I had this overwhelming feeling that I need to get back to Vancouver. I didn't know how, and I need to start doing this hypnosis and coaching work with people. It was almost like it rushed into my body. Tears filled my eyes, and I just was like, I'm gonna make it happen. Like moving back to Vancouver, rents are gonna be crazy, who knows? But a weird series of serendipitous events happened over the next, I think within 2 months of that point, that got me back here, got me back working a few odd jobs here and there, got me into an amazing place where I live. Met a woman that I'm with right now. This is her place, and a wonderful lady I've been with now for over a year and a half. And without any social media marketing or advertising at all, I started doing the work that I love to do just through word of mouth and how I showed up and told people. And the difference was I had zero self-doubt about what I was here, what I was meant to do. And so it started slowly, a couple of clients a month, to the point where last year was quite busy. It was a few clients a week for about a 6-month period. Now it's down to like one a week because I'm doing this other work as well. But yeah, and it's something that I had wanted to do for the last 10 years, but I always had self-sabotaged. I always had limiting beliefs. I always had um, panic attack level of anxiety whenever I was pursuing my goals in the past. But yeah, I said enough of that. I'm here to do what I'm here to do, and it was some specific self exercises I did as well to help clear the self doubt and self sabotage. Very specific things that I share with clients now. So
Yeah, so this is interesting here. So like as I'm hearing this, Gordon, like you literally were like doing some exercises on the beach with like the circles there. You were
mm,
I when you say you stepped into it, like I imagine you actually physically stepping into each space
yeah,
and walking into them.
physically physically do, which I find to be very powerful. I've guided a few clients through that similar exercise, and it's about, for me, it's about letting go of those old identity roles that we had been taught to play, and really almost resetting back to like, I love this quote, who are you, who were you before the world told you who you should be? And for me, I'm a connector, I'm a communicator, I'm a I'm curious, I'm all of these things. Those are my highest values. And then stepping back through the circles with that feeling in the body, I'm like, oh, now what's my identity? Oh, okay, it's different. Now what are my beliefs? Oh, okay, all these new beliefs come in. Okay, now what are my skill sets that I'm using? Now what are my behaviors? And now where's my environment? And then that's the first circle we started with originally. And I just knew, I was like, oh yeah, get back to the city, start doing this work. It's kind of like it's a transformational process. It is,
Process.
where
Yeah.
are you stuck with identity, beliefs, etc.? Where's your highest self? Walk back down the circles with these these high values in your system, and what I find from doing this work is people deep down, they know, we know what we're here to do. I think you might agree with that. I don't
Oh
know.
no, definitely. It's interesting. So Alex, as Gordon is talking here, it's taking me back to days where I spent more time in like the pure transformation of things. Right now, there's a lot more like business that shows up in my conversations as well as like leadership. But like what I'm hearing from you is like you created a truly transformational experience for yourself, right?
Mhm.
Um, Tell me here because like Gordon, you might actually just get me back on a transformation train. So
I can talk
like
about other stuff too, business and
no, yeah, I look, I want to hear about it, but I like, I want to hear about it all, right? I think the thing here is that like the outliers that are listening to this are they're they're playing their own game right now, right?
Right.
And in a lot of different ways, like um they're interested in seeing, and allies, you let me know. You can send me a message if this is not true, but they're interested in seeing themselves, or
Mhm.
see, not they're interested in seeing different ways that other people who are doing really cool things at this point, right? And
Mhm.
how you've been able to bridge that. So you had this transformational experience.
Mhm.
Like you just pack your bags like that day and over to
Mhm.
Vancouver. Like how did that end up working for you overall?
Um, it was a series of serendipitous events. It took about 2 months of just connections and following intuition and talking to the right people, realizing how many people I knew, and just making right connections and opportunities opening up for me. So yeah, that went wonderful. Like I live in a beautiful home in North Vancouver. My girlfriend lives here in Kitsilano, which is another a beautiful neighborhood in Vancouver. But yeah, when I moved back to Vancouver, I had like zero money. It was difficult, but so, the universe just kept
Well,
giving me money.
take us to that. Take us to that, right? Because
Mm,
there's a component of this here, and I think outliers out here have gotten it, but there's a lot of us out here that are probably have gotten the download, right?
mhm,
That the universe is like, hey, by the way, this is what your soul's on this planet to go do.
mhm, mhm,
Like now it's time in. And they're
mhm,
like, but I won't make money from it, or I'm gonna like I
mhm,
won't have anything. I won't know anyone. Like I that would mean,
mhm,
and sometimes it's like obvious like that, but other
mhm,
times it's like very, very subtle where they're like, but everyone I know is over here and they all know me as a project manager, or they all know me in this thing. Like if I came up to them and I said, by the way, now I'm coach hypnotist or whatever, like their
mhm,
version of it is,
mhm.
like it keeps them from actually stepping through. So like, why don't you take us to like those first few days where you came in and like it felt like a blank slate. It's like you didn't have clients out here. You didn't have these things going on. And like help us see like how did you create what you've created now?
My morning walks. I would get really clear. I'd spend about a half hour, an hour. I'd walk to a coffee shop, get a coffee, and I would just set intentions. One of my intentions was, who needs help? Like, who can I help? Who would love to pay me for the work I do? And through that question, it started to teach my subconscious mind that this is my phrase now. There's a lot of people with a lot of money that need a lot of help, and I started realizing that when I started like the first client that signed up for 3 sessions within a month or two of moving back to Vancouver, very successful business person over the years, a lot of money in a business that he loves as well. And I was like, wow, he's hiring me. Well, of course, because it was anxiety issues, and that's my strength. Some self-sabotage, some authenticity issues. But I started seeing that these people that were hiring me had a heck load of money, and they needed my expertise. So I was like, I think I can start making a living on this. And so yeah, I've worked with that was the real shift for me. Like, I've worked with a CEO of a big multinational company. Recently, I've been doing some sessions with a research scientist from LA. I work on video, so I work with people around the world. Still, strangely, I have no uh, social media marketing yet, but I've just made connections. It was that morning. It was the morning walk and asking that question basically that opened my mind to realize that there was a lot of people that need a lot of help. Um, Even people that I thought didn't need help. I was like, no, they have a successful business. They don't need help. Yeah, they do. They need, they are. A lot of people need help. So.
So I like to play with this here, Gordon, because I feel like you're saying some things that I think it's important for us to like line in, right? That last bit, even the people you didn't think needed help,
Mm,
right? And part of what I got from what you were saying here was like, look, someone might like just because they're successful in one area of their life does not
mm,
mean that they're successful in all the areas, especially in
mhm,
the areas that you have.
mhm,
Like when it comes to anxiety, self-doubt, all that stuff, you're like, I get it. You're like, I'm master. I got this, you
mhm,
know? And it put you in a position to go and help people with the problem at hand that you were
mhm,
best suited to support them with, right? Can you speak a
mhm.
little bit to that here? I want to get into like a bit of like both the like, yeah, I just think there's a lot of us out there that are like, well, why would they pay me? Their business is better than mine, and this, that, and the
Yeah.
other. They're more successful. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, the confidence I have mostly is with the skills that I won't say apply, but kind of co-guide someone through in a session. I'm I've had enough positive feedback over the years to actually know my skill. So one person comes to mind. I worked with an author, and she's a successful author, and she sells courses like a 6 month package and teaches people to tap into their authentic writing abilities. So her business is good, and she's got students, and she was hiring me for overcoming self-doubt and self-sabotage. So that's directly a business related issue. She wanted to bring her business to a bigger level. Um, I knew I knew I didn't know how to run her business. I don't have to know how to run her business, but I do know how quick and how easy it can be for people to kind of step out of the self-doubt that or turn down that negative internal dialogue, or how easy it can be for someone to, as you mentioned earlier tonight, or earlier today, just get really still and quiet and tap into like what's most authentic, what's most inspiring for them. I know how easy it is. So I think that's key in any business. I learned this years ago is I don't need to know how to run their business. I just need to know how to help them run their own subconscious mind, basically. So um,
What have you found to be some of the impacts of that?
um, the author that I work with, she hires me every time she does a launch for her new series of course. I think she's hired me 3 times now. And the feedback I've gotten is, well, usually sometimes she just sells her course out or gets more clients than she was expecting. And the feedback is usually, I just went for it. I just trusted myself and went for it and put myself out there as far as, marketing. The other feedback is that I get is I just stepped into the flow state. Um, I did a workshop for her students, and some of the feedback I got from the students were similar. The workshop was about getting back into flow state, but um, try, and then of course when I specifically work with anxiety clients for reduction in anxiety, what I get is usually more calm, more clear. I don't take that negative internal dialogue so seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. So.
So Gordon, let me see here. Now I'm curious about your business and how you're growing that, right? So I get the impact
Mhm.
that you bring to people. I get this area here. What would you say like for the level of your business right now? And if you want to share anything about like how your business is right now, that'd be helpful for us to like kind of like orient
It is.
ourselves. But like, yeah, why don't we start there and then I have a question on you on that.
Um, so my business now, all of my clients in the last year have been word of mouth. Um, the project management role I play for the podcast, he's a psychiatrist, and he's been referring people to me, not his patients, but his
Yep.
colleagues. So
Yeah.
I've had some. It's all word of mouth. It's very lucky. I look back at that last year of my life and it's like, whoa, how did that happen? How did that happen? I'm literally being referred by a psychiatrist for anxiety relief sessions for his
Yeah.
colleagues and stuff like that, which is
Can we just slow down on that? Because there's something in it that puts a smile on my face. It's such an outlier thing right there. It's like,
it
it's like, you're
because
like,
thank you for recognizing that. Yeah,
yeah,
because I'm not a doctor. I'm not even a quote unquote therapist. I'm a transformative coach and transformative hypnotist. It's a different,
yeah,
I don't diagnose or treat. What I
yeah.
do is I work with subconscious thought patterns, basically. But the fact that this person on the medical side of things is like, oh, hey, go talk to this guy, Gordon, if you want some anxiety relief, is a huge. It's a what's it called? I forgot that effect. It's like the lab coat effect, power of association, like I'm literally being referred. So that's really good for the work that I do. My
Can I,
next, Oh yeah, keep ask
Good.
the
So,
question.
Alex, I want to like kind of look into this. So, one of the things that I'm hearing from Gordon here is like it's not just that he has a word of mouth and there's any referral. Like you're getting like there's the quality of the referral, like and the transference of that like relationship is actually quite high, right? So it's like look, you have someone who's like in the field that's talking to other people who know what's going on, who have a lot of tools, and yet they're like I'm still not able to overcome this thing. It's like go talk to
Mm,
Gordon, right? I want you to think about that for yourself, outliers, as you're looking at your business and you're thinking about like how you want to grow and such. Like, where are some areas? Like, who are the people that maybe it's
mm,
not every single person out there is giving you word of mouth, but like,
mm,
who's like the 1 to 3 people that you could talk to, and like if they had an experience of you and they were telling all their friends
mm,
around it or all their peers and colleagues and
mm.
such would make a meaningful difference into your business right now. I want to just kind of put it out.
Beautiful.
Gordon, any thoughts on that before we
I like
move
what you
on?
said about if they had an experience of you. And originally, how I connected with this person was they were interviewing me for the podcast, and my number one goal there was not really even to sell myself at all. It was just to give them an experience of some of these tools, techniques, and insights, a deep experience, together, so they could have their own aha moments. That's, I believe, what was in them when, or in him when he realized, oh yeah, I got to tell my friend about Gordon. Oh yeah, I got to, because my goal was to impact them in that moment in the dialogue. Like
Yeah.
that was the intention I set.
I love that. I love that there, Courtney, because I have a lot that goes on through my experiences here. And one of the big things that shows up for me is like we were talking about even before I hit record. I like to create the future now, right?
Mm,
Like
mhm.
give them the experience of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
however you can. So you came in on as a guest, and then through that experience, that like they also got ahas to it, right? And that
Mhm, mhm,
they knew that what you were about was the real deal,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And so allies, I think I'm gonna like I said that last bit here because I think a lot of times people shy away from doing anything for free or doing anything to like give people a chance. It's like, hey, let's figure out like if your stuff is really good, once they take a bite, they'll always want to come back. It's like almost like what is that? Uh, no sponsor, but like Pringles. Once you pop, the fun don't stop, kind of thing.
mhm.
Or another one, but you can't eat just one. And I feel like you
I
have
like
some of
that.
that going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's another insight I had. I actually did make a little video post about anxiety relief recently, and you could say the same about feeling an impact or a coaching impact or a life change. It's a real-time experience. It's not theory, it's not just words, it's actually a real-time experience that's happening in this moment and is different for everyone, and it happens uniquely inside the mind and body of every individual. And that's what I know for a fact. So when I was speaking on that original podcast episode, my my goal was to actually have them kind of have their own little, oh, that's how it works. Oh, that's how it works to quiet the mind more quickly. Oh, I get it. And then you see the little spark in their eye, like, because they got the feeling. Yeah, like what you said, there's no future. We create it now.
Yeah. So that's the experience of it. So
Nice.
take me now. What would you say is like the hardest part of your business right now? Like so and let's take it to that. What would you say is like the hardest part of it?
Well, finding time, and I've taken some action over the last month. And over the last month, I've had a few meetings of some of the people involved with this podcast production and other stuff, and just realizing that I've got a little bit too much on my plate with that. So it's the courage. Basically, here I'll throw it out there. It's the courage to delegate some of that other work, which means I might get there's a little less hours for me. I get paid a little less, but then shift that time into marketing and promoting my own business. Like there's a Facebook ads little module on a training I did a year ago that I haven't even dove into yet. And I was like, oh, that could be a valuable use of my time. But this is a valuable use of my time, like doing this with you. So yeah, the hardest part is delegating some of that other work out of fear of, oh, I won't have access to as much money. But I gotta come up with the courage to promote, learn and promote more. Yeah. basically.
Oh, that's interesting. So when you say that, it feels like there's like, I don't know, three things here that I heard in terms of courage. And I'm thinking about any outlier that's in it. So the one was the courage to like to delegate. And if I got you right there, it was less, it was more about like, look, you could delegate, but the implications of delegated means that like, okay, now if I delegated more, then that would mean that I would have less income coming in. So you would know that
From
like
that side, yeah.
from that side of things. So it's not like, oh, I like what if yeah. It's not like I'm actually you're actually afraid of it or you're actually but that's it. It's like it's really around like, all right, am I courageous enough to take in less income from that side of things? And if I'm getting right on the other side of it, am I also courageous enough to like say I'm going to bring in more income through this right now and learn new ways to go um, add to the fire or add to what word of mouth has given me? Word of mouth has given me enough to move things forward.
Mhm.
Um, how do I continue to assist that with additional means of making sure that people get experiences or get to know about me? Am I getting that right, Gordon?
Beautiful. I love that summary. I'm excited to listen to this back so that I can just hear that in my ears. I was like, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I like it. I like
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I really acknowledge you on that. I really acknowledge you on that because I think yeah, it's been an ongoing question for me that
Really?
keeps going on. Yeah, like let me try and put it in my phrase. I think the question for me ends up being I like, okay, I finally figured something out. Right. Like
Hmm.
because like one of the like I love spending time with outliers and outliers who are trailblazing for others. But one of the things that's underneath it is like, man, we have to figure out a lot of stuff on our own, you
Yeah.
know? And like, and we're not walking down paths that are necessary, that are paved for us so that we know like that
Hmm.
every step is going to be like an easy step. And
Hmm.
so right now you're catching me at a time where I am building out a some additional systems. I realized that like the systems that I built out in my business, I the way that my business works is I'm able to help my clients actually just start with the systems and like that I have and I integrate into their business right away. And I realized I'm like, well, I'm only able to really help them to point C right now, and I really want to get them all the way to like Z. You know,
Hmm.
and as I do that, I'm sitting here and I'm like, every day, Gordon, every day I have this conversation with myself, which is like, am I making the right investment? I know I'm making an investment for my future. This is the right path to go in the long run. But should I actually just send out another email? Should I get another person on the call? Should I bring in some more like work on what I know will turn into revenue today, as opposed to building out something that I am very confident would continue to bring out revenue in the long run. But there's a gap in between. So I'm not in the same exact position as you are right now,
Hmm.
but like that trade-off for do I take what I know is working and scale that back in order to invest into what I know has the potential to be so much more, not just in terms of the financial part, but in terms of like like I'm doing my thing here on this planet.
Hmm.
It really hits me. What are your thoughts on that, Gordon? What are some things that come to you when I bring that in?
Well, for me, the first thing is when you say trade-off, is it a trade-off of time? Both time and money, I imagine. Uh, Um,
Yeah.
and the second piece that came in, and this happens usually when I do my morning walk and I'll grab a coffee. It's almost like my meditation where I just clear my mind.
Yeah.
And it's one of the principles I actually integrate into my coaching and also definitely my hypnosis is there's a thing in therapy called, I'll explain the the theory first, and then you'll probably understand it. You'll map it over to kind of life choices and opportunities as well. There's a thing in therapy that's called an ab reaction. It means when someone keeps going back and back and back to a therapist to try and resolve an issue, and they temporarily resolve it, but it keeps coming back, keeps coming back, keeps coming back. We do I say we because where I learned from, but I do a thing um, to help override that ab reaction. And it's a simple linguistic pattern um, for the words. It is also an experience. And basically, I literally tell someone to, for example, if it's an issue, let go of that issue only when your unconscious has found a healthy, new alternative to fulfill the same benefits as that issue is doing for you, but without the issue. A healthy, and another language pattern is just a healthy new way to fulfill the same benefits as whatever that issue was doing for you, but without the issue. And the second piece is I tell people that they don't even need to consciously understand what that new way is, just get a sense that it's possible. And this linguistic pattern and the feeling of it is the thing that another piece that helped me overcome the self-sabotage. So as far as decision making, for example, if I wanted to build out, like I'm working on a small outline for a video course I want to create. I've been procrastinating on that as well, but the language pattern would be work towards that only at a rate and speed that feels healthy and right and allows you to bring in enough money doing other things if you need. So it's a little bit opposite of the Tony Robbins approach of just push harder. It's more of allowing the mind to realize that we're allowed to find a healthy way forward, a healthy way forward.
You talk about language pattern, and I want to make sure that I don't leave this here because I'm like, ooh, I hear distinctions and I hear where the power is in the actual ways that you're framing it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you like help us understand when you say language pattern, what do you mean? What are you like listening for? What constructs that?
Language pattern is just a pattern that may have a tend to produce a result. Like, for example, if you hear a language pattern of saying someone say stuck on moving forward in their goal, and you hear someone say, well, just push harder. That can create temporary motivation, but it ignores the fact that there might be a good reason why someone's holding back. It might be doing something for them. It might be giving them comfort or a feeling of safety. So a language pattern is just a way to describe a process that invites the opportunity for the unconscious to lay down some new thought patterns. And the one I like is just to find a healthy way to move forward with this. The only reason why anyone ever procrastinates or engages in self-sabotage is because on an unconscious level they don't think it's safe to move forward. There might be other benefits, but that's a big one. And I can sum that up by I can share one exercise I did about a year and 2 months ago for my business. And it shows you this language pattern in effect.
Yeah, I'd
Can I share that?
love to hear. Let's share it and then we'll wrap up the
And then
conversation
we'll
from here.
wrap
But I
up
think
the
it'd be really
conversation.
great for outliers to get this.
Okay. I'm stoked to share this. So you're ready? It's the first, so it's a three-part, let me see, it's a three-part exercise. When people hear part number one, they often resist.
And
And
Gordon, something just happened with your volume a bit here. I think
oh,
this is
can you
really
hear?
important. Yeah,
Okay.
great, perfect. Yeah, please.
Part one, well, some people will resist this. That's fine with me. But I had my journal out and I was feeling a bit stressed and overwhelmed with how am I going to make things go forward? How am I going to create my business? How am I going to get to that level? So I wrote three things in my journal, an open piece of page. I said, number one, I give myself permission to never succeed. And that's counterintuitive to a lot of people. But what that did for me, all the stress just washed away. And I also got that like success will never create happiness. That's an illusion. I'll be happy when. You meet a lot of people that are very successful on some levels, but they're miserable. They don't have any peace of mind. So number one, I give myself permission to never succeed. It's counterintuitive, but it decreased stress. Number two, I give myself permission to take as long as I need to build my business. And what that one does for a lot of people, for me especially, was it helped me trust my own rhythm, you know? Take care of some other life things I need to take care of, make sure other money is coming in when I need other money to come in. Just take as long as I need. And number three, I wrote down, I give myself permission to take as fast as I want to build my business. And what this does is again, your own rhythm. Sometimes we have those weeks where we're kind of muddled and we don't know what we're doing, but then sometimes we have those moments of clarity and it's a sprint. Let's go for it. Let's get a bunch of shit done in the next week. But we know what we're working on. So that exercise kind of incorporates that language pattern of just move forward. Find a way to move forward in a way that supports your health, your happiness, your well-being.
Well, I thank you for this, Gordon. I think like
Yeah,
there's an element of this that just gets
yeah.
to play itself out here. Um, so what we'll do here is this: we're going to wrap up for today. Outliers. My ask here is like
Mhm,
this podcast itself grows by word of mouth, and you might be like the psychiatrist or the person in Gordon's world that like
mhm,
can really help someone to get access to a conversation that would really help them out in many different ways,
mhm,
like on one level, like the top level, like in terms of de-stressing and being able to like stop the self-sabotage. But on other levels, like I don't know, I find like our like conversations and this slowing down, they often create more ancillary benefits than what people are expecting. Right. Like
mhm,
I'll ask them like,
mhm,
what did you get out of this? And
mhm,
people's responses are always different than what I might think.
mhm.
And so my ask here, Outliers, is that you share this with the people of your world, and then you also join us in the one person, one conversation at a time initiative, where you find one person in your life who you really think would benefit from the conversation that Gordon and I have been having, and share it with them. I think that's where the real impact is going to be. It's different than just reach, but I think
Yeah,
it's like the deeper impact
the
as well as
deeper
like
impact.
the overall reach, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Okay.
So Gordon, let's the way that I like to wrap is to give outliers an opportunity um to do this. Can you share with them how they can go deeper down the journey with you? If any outliers listening to this and are like, I would love to like connect with Gordon further, what's the best way for them to do that? And then would you also mind sharing with us an insight that you got from this conversation, if any?
Okay. So first I'll share the insight I got from this conversation was just to trust the flow of what's in you and what wants to come out. Usually before I hop on an interview, I'll write some notes. Oh, I want to say this, I want to say this. So here's it. But no, just to be more present with yourself. Um, I like the phrase, rest in your well-being and notice what wants to happen. So I feel comfortable and safe and around connecting with you, and you seem like a cool dude. So I just thought, yeah, just trust the flow, whatever words want to come out. How people can reach me is just at my website, Gord Faulkner, FAULKNER.com. And I've got a scheduling system set up there where they can book a free 20-minute chat. Sometimes it goes a bit longer just to answer any questions and talk a little bit more about um, what I can possibly do for them around reducing anxiety, clearing self-doubt, being more authentic. And my mission is to have people really realize that they can do it their way. They can do it their way.
We're definitely aligned in that you can do it your way
Yes, yes,
components
yes.
of it all. Gordon, thank you so much for making the time for this. Thank you for playing the game that you do, and like for choosing to blaze the trail that you're out there doing. It's not a small game to be playing, and I'm glad that we got to be in space with you here today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your questions and the time.